was one of those things where it was just a recipe for disaster. Be such a math and science person. Numbers just kind of made sense to me. I was able to calculate things easily, and then slowly I kind of lost those abilities. And when talking is hard enough for you, you can't even begin to think about, solving pre-calc in school. It's just not even manageable. So I was doing these club shows where they weren't, it wasn't professional lighting, but we would have the spotlights and then all these different colors and the sound, and it was just a stimulation overload. I was practicing triple flips. I was not being supervised by a coach, and I didn't really have the jump down solid yet. Very severe hits to the ice, and coming from an Army family, definitely it was one of those things where you just kind of walk it off. You don't think much of it, and I never went to the doctor. I never specifically got diagnosed. I recognized that something was not right, and I started to panic. I had terrible headaches, just skull-crushing headaches, and it got to the point where people would start talking to me, and I wouldn't be able to process it as English. It would just sound like garbled words coming out of their mouth. And then when I would try to find the words to respond to them, to tell them that I didn't understand what was going on, I couldn't even find the words. So I was kind of stuck in this silent terror. To find kind of like brain activities to kind of train my brain so that I could keep on using it and make sure that I wasn't losing everything. So I started learning guitar. I'm always actively trying to kind of keep my brain working. So I'm learning a language. I make sure that I read a lot, because that was one thing that became really hard for me to do, just like focusing in on these tiny letters. I couldn't do it, it would give me a headache. And now I force myself to read books so that way I can kind of just keep that focus and ability to kind of keep a train of thought and push through. Answer is obviously there's no place I'd rather be than center stage in the middle of that ice performing. That's what I love to do, and that's never going to go away. And to have that fear of something happening again, that's not the way that anybody should live their life in general. But beyond that, I feel so much more confident in my physical abilities than my cognitive abilities, and so this is the environment that I should be in. This is where I'm going to thrive, and I can figure out the next chapter of my life when I get there, but for now this is going to be way more successful for me.